citizenry of the Anlo state, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, Ndona Milo. To be here with you today, and a source of pride to be representing the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I bring you his warmest greetings as well as his sincere apologies for his inability to join you all on this exciting and grand occasion. We have all traveled far and near from all corners of Ghana and beyond to join Togbeo, Mamao, and elders of the 36 states of Anlo in celebrating the Grand Durbar of their annual Hogbetsotso festival. I would like to take and the Kwewuyene for making it to this festival. I can say that the historic records show that the last Asantehene to be in Anlo was Asantehene Kofi Karikari, and this was over 120 years ago, and therefore this is truly a historic occasion to have Otumfuo Tutu II to come. We have been given the history by the Otumfuo, the relationship between Asante and Anlo states dates back to the 19th century during the reign of Asantehene Kofi Karikari, when the Asante, Akwemu, and Anlo states formed a tripartite alliance. Hogbetsotso, as we all know, is celebrated to remember how the Anglos escaped the tyrannical rule of Togbe Agokoli about 400 years ago. It is a season of joy and merrymaking, a time to reconnect with our culture, a rich history, a time to share, a time to reconcile with one another, and a time for families to reunite. Indeed, we give praise and thanks to the Almighty for seeing us safely and peacefully through the COVID-19 pandemic. This festival has not been celebrated ever since the breakout of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic, which brought many countries, businesses, and organizations to their knees. But for the good interventions and measures instituted by the Royal Majesty Togbe Sri III and the good people of Anlo, this festival has once again seen the light of day. Togbe Chairman, the Anlo state over the past 60 years has strived and contributed in many ways towards the development of our dear nation, Ghana. So as we celebrate the 60th Hogbetsotso Festival today, we must look back, even as we take stock of our achievements and challenges over the years and re-strategize on how we can further accelerate the development of the Anlo state and Ghana at large. Toby Chairman, the theme for this year's celebration, 60 years of Anlo Hogbetsotso, United for Development, Sustaining Our Unique Cultural Commonwealth for the Future Generation. The organizers of the program could not have chosen a better theme than this. Cultural sustainability in itself has to do with maintaining cultural beliefs, cultural practices, heritage conservation, culture as its own entity, and the question of whether or not any given culture will exist in the future. The people of Anlo have come this far with their unique culture and tradition, and preserving such culture and heritage will be a legacy for the future and unborn generations. From their rich cultural heritage to cultural and creative industries, culture is both an enabler and driver of the economic, social, and environmental dimensions of sustainable development of our people. It is, however, a common knowledge that Anlo traditional area, especially Anloga and Keta, is one of the growing, well-patronized, and highly competitive tourist destinations in Ghana and beyond. Aside the enormous tourism potential of the districts, which draw hundreds of tourists here every week and several thousands every year, it is naturally a peaceful area to sit and relax. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will be remiss if I do not touch on the economy. We all know that we are facing a global economic crisis, which Togbe Sri III referred to. This is a crisis that is being felt all over the world, and the cost of living has accelerated across the globe. If you look at the cost of living as measured by the rate of inflation between 2019 and now, the cost of living or the rate of inflation has increased by 5-fold in Ghana. It has increased by 16-fold in Togo. It has increased by 11-fold in Senegal. It has increased by 7-fold in Cote d'Ivoire and 8-fold in the United Kingdom. The increase in the cost of living has caused hardships, not only in Ghana, but many countries. In fact, the BBC noted about 2 weeks ago that so far this year, there have been 93 public protests against, in 93 countries, we've had public protests against the increase in cost of living. It is important to note, however, that in the midst of all of this turmoil, we should put things in perspective. The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has, over the last 6 years, taken many steps to reposition and transform the economy. So whilst we have hardships today, which we are working very hard to alleviate, and inshallah we will deal with them. Whilst we have hardships today, let us not forget what we have been able to do in the last 6 years. Let me recall that our government in the last 6 years has created more jobs than any other government in the Fourth Republic. Let me recall that we have constructed more roads than any other government in the Fourth Republic. Let me recall that we have built more interchanges than any other government in the Fourth Republic. And let me say that we have built more airports than any other government, more railways than any other government. We have built more classrooms than any other government in the Fourth Republic. We have constructed more fish landing sites than any other government in the Fourth Republic. We have also restored teacher and nursing training allowances. Tobero Mamo, beyond infrastructure, we have implemented many transformational policies. Over the last 6 years, Ghana has successfully issued the National ID card. For the first time in our history, Ghana has a digital property address system. For the first time in our history, Ghana has implemented mobile money interoperability between the telcos and the banks. This is the first in Africa, and Ghana is the #1 country in Africa for access to financial services. For the first time in our history, any Ghanaian who has a national ID card can open a bank account sitting at home and don't have to go to any bank to fill a form. For the first time in our history, we have drones delivering medical supplies to our people in the very remote areas, whether it's blood, whether it's vaccines, whether it's medicines, snake bites, and so on. If you are in Yangosra, the drones will come to you. Afram Plains, the drones will come to you. Yagabakubori, the drones will come to you. And so on and so forth. And Ghana, our own Ghana, is the whole world's largest medical drone delivery, the whole world. For the first time in our history, people can buy electricity units on their mobile phone. If they can even buy it from China, Germany, Japan, or the UK and buy their units on their mobile phone. For the first time in our history, we have one district, one factory. For the first time in our history, we are clearing goods paperless in the ports. For the first time, we have digitized the driver's license process. And for the first time in our history, Ghana has implemented the Ghana.gov platform, which is a one-stop shop for public service delivery. For the first time in our history, Ghanaians can renew their national health insurance sitting at home on their mobile phones.